Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here, and welcome back to another crypto video. And today we yet again have a really interesting update, partially on the Ripple v SEC lawsuit. To start it off, it is really in Ripple's best interest to behave, because, well, let's talk about that in just a second. Let's first actually move into the most important part of today, which is James Phelan, who posted some stuff on Twitter. You might think, oh, this Dusty guy is reading some Twitter posts again. This means nothing. I personally think sometimes that these Twitter posts are way more important than the news articles, because a lot of those news articles are based upon Twitter posts. Twitter is actually one of the most interesting pieces to get information from. It might surprise you, you might laugh about that, but it really is the truth. A lot of these news outlets, they take their info from Twitter. It depends, right? If you have a New York Times, for example, no, those guys make their own stuff. But a lot of these other ones, like most of the crypto guys, they at least have one or two tweets in the midst. Like, for example, right here. So, to take the freaking carrot straight out of the horse's mouth, I had no idea what the exact little saying for that one was, so I tried something. This part of the Hinman declaration should scare everyone. Okay, so there was a little Hinman situation, right? You guys have all been updated about that now, hopefully. All right, so this part about it should scare everyone. Quote, "To my best of my knowledge, the commission had not taken at the time and still has not taken any position or expressed a view as to whether offers and sales of Ether constituted offers and sales of securities," end quote. Clayton used Hinman's speech as an example of how transparent the SEC has been in its treatment of digital assets, but now Hinman is tap dancing in that declaration. So, a lot of people actually mocked him for it, James saying he's all of a sudden fudding. To be honest with you, I'm not exactly sure why we are sad, scared, or anything. Cryptfish, for example, says, super disappointed in this post. This is not the James Phelan we know, feels clickbait-ish. No, Hinman said one thing, Clayton agreed. Now, Hinman is walking it back, starting a sentence in a declaration about the biggest speech of his career with a, "To the best of my knowledge." You should be concerned that those who profess to protect you are doing the opposite. And that's again where in my head things also don't really click. It doesn't really click. It doesn't really work. The SEC, as far as I now know, has partially let go statements that should help us, partially let go statements which are just there to be statements. You know, for example, William Hinman's speech should not be taken as advice. It should just be taken for what it is, but you're not supposed to do anything with that, right? He is a high-ranking SEC official member, but yet whenever the SEC then, according to William Hinman, speaks something out, you shouldn't take that as advice. So what exactly should you do with that info? Nothing, because you can't take it anywhere. Now, as well for the fact that if the SEC had a thought, they never had an official thought though, right? So they might have had a thought, but it's not officially put on paper, so it's not relevant. Then also, of course, they're supposed to protect you as the investors, but they're not doing that because, again, look at this Ripple SEC case. Now, that's kind of what I fetched from this little story, because he's acted to the best of his knowledge, and he knows or he thinks that the commission had not taken at the time and still has not taken, that part is interesting, any position or expressed a view on whether those Ether sales are securities. Maybe that points to the fact that Ether could be next, because if they have never and this again is coming from that little deposition. It's like the Hinman declaration, I believe that's in the exhibit of Ripple, basically, or the SEC recent quash motion. Where if you look a little bit back into one of yesterday's videos, we covered the motion to quash, and we also a little bit down below covered the exhibits, where it basically was a letter that summons William Hinman, and also a full, let's say, 2-page or something like that. I'm not exactly sure how many pages anymore. Of statements that William Hinman let go. And one of those statements apparently was this right here. To the best of his knowledge, the commission has never taken a official stance on Ether, which is really, really, really strange, because I thought Ethereum was properly ranked. What is going on here, guys? So here's an article based upon that too. XRP lawsuit, why the SEC's latest motion Hinman deposition should scare everyone. So let's quickly check out here what exactly. Until a week back, it was quite apparent that only the plaintiffs in the ongoing SEC v. Ripple lawsuit desperately wanted to depose additional people. However, it recently came to light from the defendants two intended to depose William Hinman, with the sole hint of former SEC official at that time. The community started making guesses. We thought Jay Clayton or William Hinman. Turned out to be William Hinman, and now the SEC, of course, came in to kind of quash the deposition. According to the plaintiff's motion to depose, there should be a really exceptional circumstance. It should be noted that the purpose of the exceptional circumstance rule is to protect the mental processes. We covered that, and basically let's cover a little bit more at the bottom here, because we were talking about this false information about Hinman in the previous video. Let's see. Further, in the exhibits attached with the motion, that's again what I already told you guys just now. Let's actually read from here. Again, as known, Hinman made a public speech in 2018, which again is also attached in the exhibit, where he explicitly stated that offers and sales of Ether were not security transactions. So make sure you understand that connection. William Hinman here in his declaration recently just said now that to the best of his knowledge, the commission has never taken a stance on Ether. But he, in that little speech, he said that that Ethereum are not security transactions. However, at the time, he did not claim anything about XRP or Ripple. Further, in his exhibits attached with the motion, Hinman declared that the SEC has still not taken a call on whether the offers and sales of Ethereum fall under the category of securities, and this menacing declaration, according to attorney James Phelan, should scare everyone because, well, Ethereum could be next. I've called this out like 10, 15 times before on the channel, however, so to me it doesn't really come as a surprise, but the fact that even now, coming from an SEC official, there's no official stance, that to me is strange. Now these types of articles are becoming a lot more relevant. For example, this one right here, Ripple's top lawyer on SEC battle, we're fighting for the crypto industry. Quote, the regulatory morass is resulting in bizarre outcomes, says Ripple General Counsel Stuart Alderoty. So you don't need to read the full article because you can already kind of fetch for yourself here. What is Ripple fighting for? For proper US crypto regulations, and specifically for cryptos from this point on forward to have a fighting chance. I mean, if the fair notice defense holds up for Ripple, it's going to hold up for almost any single crypto company, and that could work joyfully. We have women like Pierce, who we've talked about for the last couple of days here, who are also working on getting kind of a rule book fixed where the first couple of years, if you're operating as a security, then you'll be fine. But the point being, if XRP goes down, many cryptos will go down. And it's something that a lot of people don't want to admit to, but it is the truth. It is factual. It is going to happen. And I have it in the back of my head, but a lot of people don't want to accept it. That's, again, why I put my money into XRP for a good part, because I'm thinking if XRP/Ripple wins, it's a lot of money that we're going to be, that I think we're going to be making, right? We're not sure in the end of things. Things can always go the opposite way of what we expect. But I'm thinking if they win this lawsuit, that the price will shoot up. And that's, again, what I'm kind of betting on. That's what I'm putting my money into. Now, if XRP loses, I believe the narrative will be so extremely negative for most crypto that everything in the crypto space will fall. And so that the effect of holding XRP, which again has a little bit more of a risk then, is kind of mitigated. Because if most cryptos will fall, then it didn't really matter if you were holding XRP or ADA or anything like that. If, again, most of them are going to fall with it. Now, on that same note, people are really not supporting XRP or Ripple lawsuit at all, which is to me quite funny. A lot of people are still calling on XRP to be centralized, yet the whole Ethereum debacle not paying too much attention to until it becomes relevant for them, which might be sooner than a lot of these people expect. So, yeah. And then again, let's cover this article right here. It is really in Ripple's best interest to behave because, whoa, it's been an interesting little situation right here. So, on any given day, if Ripple wishes, it can back off and vanish with the profits after selling the XRP it holds. However, the presence of tokens in Escrow would not pave the way for the blockchain company to sell its entire share of 55 billion tokens. Even if the company decides to shed 1 billion tokens for the matter, it would hit the market hard. Elaborating on the scale of the hypothetical impact, Hamilton said, yes, that would have an effect in the same way if Michael Saylor suddenly decided that I'm wrong on this. I'm joining Peter Schiff, and I'm going to sell all my Bitcoin and buy gold. So what they're saying basically is this little first line here. Say, if Ripple decides to hypothetically give up everything it possesses and disappear one day, would it really affect the XRP market? Well, no. It is in their best, it is in their best interest to behave because everybody would just quit, the price would fall like crazy, and it's the dumbest thing they could ever do. People often talk to me about, Dusty, It would be so amazing if the Escrow were to be burned. I always come reply and say no, it wouldn't. It would be really, really bad. On multiple different levels it would be. But also, XRP ledger not centralized. We covered that tens of thousands of times. It is a mechanism where people have control. It's just depending on what you actually want. And we've already come to the conclusion now that it is in our best interest that Ripple has this XRP. It is in our best interest that it's going the way it's going. And I don't really have any objections to it. Unless, again, it's been found out that some of the founders or guys at Ripple are doing some really fishy stuff that, again, burn it down to the ground. But as it currently stands, I believe fully in Ripple and what they're building for XRP. So I'm extremely excited. All right. Alright guys, but that was it for today's video. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. We had an article here from Digital Asset Investor, but it's basically just him always going further and further and further into this entire SEC debacle. Here's a little video that we might cover a little bit later. I'm not sure if I can put closing bell in my videos here with the sound, or whether or not I'm going to get copyright striked. A little bit afraid about that. The little subtext here says the SEC weighs in on initial coin offerings. It is, again, as far as I know now, I'm not sure, this is supposed to be Bill Hinman? I'm not sure exactly why I put Bill here. It's William Hinman, right? Is Bill and William Hinman the same, or is it his second name or something like that? I'm not sure. But the video here, I know this part from Ethereum. It is basically where he explains that Ethereum actually is had an ICO, sort of. It had a crowdfunding where you could basically buy Ethereum with some Bitcoin. Point being, it's such a strange situation. According to the SEC, proponents of XRP have used social media to disseminate negative and false statements about members of the SEC leadership. For this reason, they don't believe Bill Hinman should be deposed. I am against such any dissemination. Their own words, however, I'm in. All right, so too bad we can't watch this video, but let me know if we can actually put closing bell in. Then we might try it a little bit later on CNBC. Yeah, we'll make another update video pretty recently here or pretty soon. And make sure you subscribe to the channel and press the like button if you enjoyed it.